and welcome to Thursdays with Annette. I'm so glad you're joining me today. So this week we're in the kitchen, I've got my apron on and I'm excited to cook you a fabulous recipe that is so much lower in fat than the traditional, and it's called chicken pesto pasta. It's out of book 5 and it's going to be, I think, one of your favourites when you start cooking it yourself. So let's talk about last week first, because it was a fantastic show. Got lots of great feedback, and we were talking about luscious lunches. And so many people said that they got lots of new tips and commented on how fresh and fabulous all the food looked. But let me just read a couple of comments, because I really like to acknowledge the people that take time to say hello and write. Now, Angela wrote, "This is great. I find lunches the hardest as I'm home all the time, as are the kids, because they're doing distant education." So thank you, Angela. Yvonne thought that I gave her lots of great ideas. Thank you so much for your time to show us how to eat healthy. You're welcome there. Now, Nolene wanted to know, what is the best mayonnaise? Now, to be honest with you, I do favour one particular one, but it's up to you. Basically, you just need to find a 97% fat-free mayonnaise. I use Praise, but it's really up to you what you prefer. Now, Colleen wrote, "Enjoying your show and great ideas." Thank you, Colleen. As well as very motivating and easy. I don't have to buy expensive food. Absolutely. You know, when I create a recipe, Colleen, I always just think, can I get this in the supermarket? Because who's got time to go into expensive little delis or whatever to find obscure ingredients? So if I can't get it and throw it in my trolley, it's not going in a recipe. Now, Jan had a great story to share. I mean, look, honestly, Jan, you are just my hero. She said, "I'm a fit 66 female. I'd given up. I've been on your game changer for 7 weeks," so she's been following my menu plans, and she's lost 7 kilos. Yes, well done. I mean, that's fantastic. She's thrilled. Just following your tips and alternatives. Thank you so much. She's just got off the treadmill. So well done. Now, the winners from last week's show, they were going to be winning a fabulous portion plate, which everyone wanted. And so, drum roll, please. Leslie Clark is super excited about getting her plate, and Lois Gamby, stop her right now, she is super excited because she's never won anything in her life. So now you're a winner, chicken dinner. And Alison Murray is super excited and can't wait to get her plate, because it really does help if you're worrying about portions. Alrighty, so let's get the show started. So first of all, I have to set my kitchen. You know, I'm a routine gal, so I've got my kitchen sink filled with the soapy warm water so I can, you know, throw everything in and wash it up at the end. I've got my little bag. I'm going to cover the bowl, and this is going to be my garbage bin. And then at the end, I just pick it up and throw it in the bin at the end. So it just saves me going back and forwards all the time. I've got all my ingredients here. I'm super excited. Chicken pesto pasta. Hello, book 5. It is one of those recipes that once you make it, you are going to love it. I know my little Jenna, my youngest girl, that's just had that fabulous little baby Maddie, this is one of their all-time favourites. They go to, you know, quite frequently and really enjoy it. All right, so what do we start with? We check our ingredients to make sure we've got everything we need. So we start with the fresh basil. We've got onion, pine nuts, you know, crushed garlic. You know, people say to me, you know, why do you say in the jar, Annette? Well, it's because it's easy, honey. If you want to chop up fresh garlic or squeeze it through the machine, go for it. But I just like it because it's easy. We've got some beautiful skinless chicken breast, mushrooms, parmesan, stock powder, tomato paste, corn flour, evaporated milk. I've already cooked the pasta because you really need to have that started or at least done, you know, so everything can go together at the end. And as well, I use a little bit of skim milk, and I'm going to use some cooking spray. All right, so what I'm going to start with is I'm going to show you how to make the pesto. I know, stop it right now. Get fizzy fabulous. A low-fat pesto, yes sirree Bob, that's what I've done, because pesto has a lot of oil, a lot of nuts, and, you know, my way is just so much lower in fat, super, super low fat. So you can make this pesto paste for anything you want, even just to spread on a toasted sandwich or whatever, but let me show you how to do it. All right, so we start with the pine nuts. Now I've already put them under the grill and toasted them, as you can see. They're not raw. and I want 2 teaspoons of pine nuts. Now I'm using my little machine, my little Braun, zhuzher. You can also use your small food processor as well, because it doesn't make a huge mix, so you don't want it in a big food processor because it just won't work. I'm going to put in half a teaspoon of my crushed garlic, and I'll be using that again later. I'm going to put in half a teaspoon of chicken stock powder. Going to put in a tablespoon of the Parmesan, just the one you buy, the Kraft one. So I want a tablespoon of that. Oh, there's a big lump there. Let's put that in. All this is what you do to make a pesto. It's all the ingredients. I'm also going to put in a teaspoon of olive oil. Let me move that. Normally it would have like a bucket of oil. There we go. And finally, of course, you've got to put in your fresh basil leaves. So here I have 45 grams of fresh basil. Now, in the recipe it says half a bunch. But in the last year or so, I've noticed that, and tell me if I'm wrong, and maybe I need to go to your supermarket if I am wrong, that they've made all the bunches so much smaller. Yeah, I don't see the price going smaller though. So I'm going to shove in 45 grams of basil leaves. So I'm glad I put the weight in there for you, and just zhuzh it up. Fantastic. How easy is this? Now what I'm going to do is get my little scraper. Just make sure you're getting all that ingredients combined, because even though it looked like a lot of leaves, it will really zhuzh up to a small paste. Sometimes you've got to move this. That's looking fabulous. Okay, so there is my pesto. Actually, maybe what I might do is just lift up that stuff from the bottom. Yep, it's all blended really well. Just make sure that there's nothing at the bottom of your mixer, and always be really careful with your blades. I always think, oh gosh, I don't want anyone to cut their fingers off. So there's the paste, looking fabulous, so low in fat. Stop it right now. Are you getting excited? Oh gosh, dinner tonight, done. All right, so let me just put these in the wash. Okay, so now my pesto's done. I might leave these in there just in case I need them again. Let's now get cooking, because we've got that done first, ready to go. So what I do is I'm going to chop up the chicken. So now, chicken's not that exciting to watch, so I have actually chopped up some chicken first, and then I'm going to just show you to do one. So you just do a diced chicken. So it's 500 grams. Always skinless. Do not even think about the thigh. It's just so much higher in fat. It's a darker meat, and I'm all about having that healthy low-fat ingredients for you. So there's my chicken. I've got 500 grams ready to go. So I'm just going to put this in the board and wash my hands. Oh, I've got all soapy suds all over me. You don't want to contaminate either, so I'm going to just now use my veggie board, and I'm going to chop up or slice up some onions. I'm going to use a different knife as well. I want 2 cups of sliced mushrooms. And if you notice, I've put a little mat under my board. Even though this board doesn't really move, it's got little grip feet, it's just quieter when you have a mat underneath. So we want 2 cups of sliced mushies. Okay. Actually, I made this the other week. We had some vegetarians over, and I used tofu in the mix. But, and it was really nice. But if you don't want to do chicken, like for variety, you can do rump in replace of the chicken. You can do lamb, the lamb loin steaks, And you can do prawns, pesto and prawns, marriage made in heaven. All right, I think we're looking fantastic there. All right, so I'm just going to put those to one side. There's my chicken, there's my mushies. Now I've just got to do my onions. Now I want just a medium-sized onion, diced, and really then we can get cooking. So really all you have to do for this recipe really is chop up some chicken, mushrooms and onion. I mean, the paste gets done for you in the machine. If you haven't got a machine and you go, well, Annette, how am I going to do that? Well, it really requires lots and lots and lots of chopping then. So you'd have to really, really, really finely chop everything up. So I'm just going to dice some onion and then I'm going to get my wok out and get cooking. The good news with this recipe, if you've just joined me, it's a recipe out of book 5, chicken pesto pasta. It's a complete meal because you've got everything in it, and we just normally have like a little bit of a side salad with it, or if in winter you could just chop up some veggies to have on the side. All right, so I'm going to just move this over here so I can now bring my wok in. Now you can do it in a fry pan if you want. I just find the wok super, super quick, and that's what I want. I want quick, easy, and it's so non-stick, it's fantastic for low fat. So there's my cooking spray, I've used that. And now I want you to wait a minute, don't just chuck the chicken in right now. I want you to let some heat get into the pan because that way it'll sear the chicken and not stew it. Because this is where we go wrong sometimes. And you don't just chuck all this chicken in one go because it's cold, it's from the fridge and it will just stew. So if you've been watching my show, you know that I tell you to just do this. Just do it a little bit at a time. Let the heat catch up with you. I can hear the sizzle. And we're going to cook the chicken with the garlic. And we want 2 teaspoons of garlic. Remember, this is 500 grams of chicken breast without the skin. So if you wanted to do this with rump, you'd swap it for 500. You know, just swap it over the weights. And just, as I say, just take a minute. My gosh, this is such an awesome recipe. Am I a little bit biased? Yes. Okay, let me go and wash my hands again. All right, so I've got my chicken cooking. I've got my pesto ready to go. Now I'm going to put in 2 teaspoons of garlic. Now this is an Italian dish, so you know obviously garlic is a must-have. And now you just want to toss that garlic into the sizzling chicken. And that way the garlic will infuse into the chicken. Now all we're doing right now is we're browning the chicken. We're not actually cooking it completely through because it will cook as I cook in the onion and the mushrooms. So when you think about chicken, always remember chicken breast without the skin. All right, so let's put in my onion. Yeah, over at the sink. So basically what we're going to be doing now is just chucking it all in, giving it a stir, and getting ready for a fabulous meal. All right, so we're going to cook the onion together with the chicken just for a couple of minutes, and then we add in the mushrooms and cook them for a couple of minutes. So you can see there's not a lot of skill involved here. I think at any level you could do it. What's the difficulty rating? Let me look. 2.5. Well, I don't think it's that hard, but I think people sort of think when you make a pesto, how do you make a homemade pesto? Well, you've just seen how easy it is. The interesting thing about pesto, throw in the 2 cups of mushies. The interesting thing about pesto is you have there's quite a lot of varieties of basil. And if you don't like basil, well, you're not going to really want to do this recipe, but if you're like me and just love basil, I love coriander as well, but you know, it is Some people yes or no. What are you? Are you a yes or a no with basil? But I'm going to be, this is an Italian dish. You know, chicken, a pesto, pasta. But if I was doing a Thai dish, you know, a stir fry or a Thai curry or something like that, I really would then favour the Thai basil because it's a bit more, it has a really different flavour. It's like a darker leaf. It's quite purplish. But I would never use Thai basil in Italian. Oh no, do not go there, people. All right, so we've cooked the mushroom and the onion. It's fantastic. Now we're going to put in some stock powder, like we're just going to chuck in some stuff. I might actually turn that down a little bit because it's cooking really quickly. I want 2 teaspoons of stock powder, and I'm using the chicken stock powder. I want 4 tablespoons of tomato paste, and I always use the no added salt tomato paste. Was that 3? Yes. There's 4. Now let's just cook this together. Now I'm going to add in that fabulous basil mix that I've made, which is now my beautiful pesto. There we go, let's put that. In goes the pesto. So it's going to have a lovely greenness to it. Now when you're doing the pasta, it will clearly tell you in the recipe, you either cook 3.5 cups of pasta raw, or it's 300 grams. So you work out how you want to work it. I'm just folding that. Oh my gosh, the fragrances are phenomenal. Now we just got to get the sauce going. So I'm just turn that down a little bit because I want to put in a can of evaporated light. Of course, that's my cream. Let's put that in. And I'm going to mix some corn flour in with the skim milk, and that will help thicken the sauce. So that goes in the bin, and I need corn flour. What is it? 2 tablespoons. Yes. Where's my tablespoon? Into the skim milk. And just combine that together. Let's turn this up again. And that will just give it a lovely, beautiful thickness so it will stick to the pasta. Oh yes, I wish I had smellogram because you would just love what I'm smelling over here. Now this has 5.2 grams of fat a serve. I know it's pesto, stop it, I know I'm a genius. And 371 calories, and that's because it's got the pasta in it as well. So as I said, it's a complete meal. All you've got to do is add in your salad or veggies and you're good to go. Now it can freeze for about 2 or 3 weeks because of the milk in it. You really wouldn't want to make it longer than that because it will separate. Here's my cooked penne going in. You could use whatever noodles you like. And in we go. Folding it through. Dinner is done. As I said, penne pasta with a chicken creamy sauce out of book 5. Oh, I'm throwing the pasta around. Oh my gosh, look at this. Now, if you're interested in winning book 5 so you can make this recipe, all you have to do, 3 winners I'll be picking this week, or next week I should say, and you just have to like, share and comment. Here it is, hashtag simply number 2 good, and you'll go in the draw to win your very own personally signed copy of book 5. Okay, so let's serve up. I mean, who knew that weight loss could be so deliciously healthy? Come into my world and enjoy absolutely fabulousness. This is the penne. Let's just be a bit fancy and put a little sprig on there as well. Serve that to your family or friends. They will think you are a gourmet chef. So there it is. Chicken penne pasta, book 5. Now, next week, oh my God, am I a bit excited? Am I excited, people?
Yes!
Because tomorrow, I, with my fabulous husband, Billy, are going to Thailand. Whoop, whoop. Oh yeah, 10 days of glorious nothingness in Patong. So I'm hoping we'll be able to film next week. We're planning to. So I'm going to take you on a journey to Thailand next week. And I think that's going to be fabulous. So don't forget to join me. Now remember, if you want tips or any recipes, go to www.simplytoogood.com.au. And you know what? See you next week. Thanks for joining me. Bye now. Mm.